Hey everybody, it's Tom, WA2IVD. Once again, I have the FTX-1 out of the truck. And the reason for that is there's been another firmware update. Today is March 24th, 2026, as I'm recording this. And last week, Yaesu released new firmware for the radio for, I think, just about all of the processors in it. So we're going to do another update. I have done a video about this before, but I thought it would be worth doing a refresher just because it happens often enough with this radio, and I wanted to make sure that I covered where to find the firmware and all the steps for doing it. So let's go take a look. The first thing we need to do is to get the firmware. And to find the firmware, I have found the easiest thing is to just type in FTX-1 firmware. Whoops, got to spell it right. Into Google or whatever the search engine of your choice is. In Google, the first entry is the Yaesu FTX-1 series webpage. That may not be the same in other search engines, but should be pretty close to the top. So this is the main page from Yaesu, and if you just scroll down a little bit, there is a box here that says Updates. And if we click on that, we will see the various files available for the updates. And the one that we want to load into the radio is this FTX-1 ENG, which I think is English, Firmware Update 2026-316. So this is March 16th. It's also got the date here for you, and it's a zip file. So we're going to click on that file. And I have a folder where I keep my Yaesu updates. So I'm going to say Save. And that's downloaded and it's done. So we've got that. Now before we go unzip that file, let's just take a quick look here at firmware update information. So this says that the display is version 0109 from March 13th. Main is 0112, and that says new. Oddly, they don't have a date here. And this is the 16th, and you'll notice several of these are the 13th. Apparently, I missed this. There was a firmware update that was posted on March 13th. This one was posted on the 16th. The one from the 13th is no longer showing up there. And I guess there was a bit of a bug in it. They had to fix a few things really quickly, and it looks like that was just in the main program here. So the DSP is 0107 from the 13th, and the SDR is 0106 from the 13th, and then the SPA1, that's the Optima part. So if you don't have that, this doesn't apply. But if you do, it's 113. And I can tell you that that is the same version from back in the November update. So it doesn't look like there's any changes to the Optima part of the radio in this one. And I can just show you here quickly on my radio the current ones that I have. And it looks like that matches what they're saying here in terms of going from 07 to 09, 05 to 07, and 05 to 06, except main is going from 11 to 12, so even the 11 is one newer than my radio, but that was because it was only a couple of days ago. And then if we scroll down a little bit further here, it's got details. This is, and the first one here is the part that I mentioned, fixed an issue in the main software released on March 13th. And it says where the output power was not achieved on 2 meters and 440 apparently when an SPA1 was connected. So I guess there must have been a bunch of reports on that. As I said, thankfully I missed that. I've been checking the website every couple of weeks, and actually a friend of mine locally that has an FTX-1 said, hey, did you do the new update? So I went out and looked, and I looked after the 16th. They've added support for Wires X. That's going to be a whole separate video. Fixed an issue preventing manual tuning in CW mode when using the ATOS 120. I haven't tried to do manual tuning in CW mode, so I never noticed that. And it says it fixed an issue where the scope display would invert the upper and lower indications during SSB transmissions on the 50 megahertz band. I've used 6 meters a little bit, but I don't remember noticing this. Anyway, those are the major updates. I don't know if there's any other bug fixes or things that they don't talk about here. So let's go look at unzipping the software and getting it installed. Okay, we're in my folder on my laptop here, and this is the zip file that we just downloaded. I'm going to right-click on that, and I'm going to say Extract All. And by default, it's going to just put it in the same folder, except it's going to create another folder underneath here with the same name as the zip file, and that's fine. So we'll say Extract. And now we've got a folder here that is 2026-03-16 firmware update that it created. Let's go look in the folder. In the folder, we've got the firmware update manual as a PDF, and then we have the actual firmware files that we just looked at. Let's take a look at the manual real quick. Okay, there's a bunch of important notes here and important things. I'm not going to read all these. You are welcome to read these when you download this. It tells you which files are for the field head and which one is for the Optima or the SPA1, the amplifier unit. We need a micro SD card, and they have instructions here on how to confirm the version that you've already got, which I just showed you a few moments ago. And then downloading the firmware, which we've also done already. It's kind of odd that they have instructions on how to download it in a file that you don't get until you've downloaded it. Actually, I think the PDF was up there on the website also. And the key part here is instructions on where you need to put these files. So on the micro SD card, when you put a micro SD card in the radio and format it with the radio, it's going to create these folders. So it creates an FTX-1 folder, and then underneath it, it creates these other folders for various functions. And we need to put the firmware files underneath the FTX-1 folder. That's the real important part here. And then it talks about how to update it. We'll go through that in a minute. So first, let's get the files on our SD card. Let's take a closer look at taking out the micro SD card. It's on the right side of the radio, behind this flap. And I'm sure many of you have probably seen this in other videos, but the flap opens up, and then you have to push in on the card and then get it to release. And I do not have very big hands, but I cannot get my fingers in there to pull out the card. So one of the things you probably ought to have is a little pair of tweezers, and any kind of tweezers at all will work, and then you can pull the card out that easily. Now we can go put the new firmware on it. But let me show you one other thing, a little trick here. If you don't happen to have, so I'm assuming I can get this back in. All right, I'm going to put the card back in, and then we push it in until it clicks into place. So now it's in there, and I'm going to close the door, and if we open the door again, the card is in. If you do not have a pair of tweezers and you can't get your fat fingers in here, same as me, one of the tricks that you can do is push in on the card to release it, and now it's released. You can see that it's loose. Close the door, and then if you open the door, this little square notch in here will actually kind of grab the card as the door angles, and it'll pull it out for you. So there's a little trick if you don't happen to have a pair of tweezers. In any case, we've got our card. Now let's go load the firmware. All right, I've already put the SD card in my laptop. Here is the FTX-1 folder that's at the root. It's my E drive. And if I go into that folder, here are those other folders that it showed in the manual. So we need to get the files that we just downloaded. So I'm going to take and I am going to select all of these, and I am going to say copy, which you could do Control-C, or you can click the little copy icon. And then I have a second copy of Explorer opened. This is all in Windows, by the way. This will be slightly different if you're doing this on a Mac or Linux. So I am in the FTX-1 folder, and I am going to just click in here, and I'm going to right click, and I am going to say paste. And there's all our files on the micro SD card. And that's really all there is to it. You just have to put them on there, and then the next step is we're going to put them in the radio. All right, we've got our micro SD card. We're going to open the little flap here, and it goes in with the fingers for the PC board or for the connection facing the front of the radio. And then we're going to push it in till it latches, close the little door. All right, the SD card is in. We're going to turn the radio on. And we're going to just double check our software. We're already on page 3 of the menus. If not, there'll be arrows here to get you there. And then we're going to go to extension settings, and we're going to go to soft version and just double check where we're at. The one thing that's important here, if your main software is 01-00, there is a section at the beginning of the firmware update manual that you have to follow that's a little different than the procedures for everything after that. It's pretty unlikely that anybody's going to have a radio with that at this point as I'm recording this in March of 2026. But in case you bought a radio, maybe used from somebody, and it was one of the early models and they never updated it, you need to check and make sure that you don't have 100. If you do, follow those additional instructions in the firmware update manual. I'm not going to go over those here, but there's a couple extra steps that you need to do. So we're good with that. I'm going to go back. Oh, I didn't need to go quite that far back. And then I'm going to go to the SD card menu. And then if we scroll down, we have an item called Firmware Update. And for whatever reason, Yaesu has it that if you want to select any of these options, you press Done. Even though we're not really done, we're starting, but whatever. So I'm pressed that, and then it's going to show all of the firmware that it just found on the SD card. So it found 109 for the display, and that's checked. And I want to also update main because that's got the new version, and I want to update DSP because that's the new version, and I want to update SDR because that's the new version. We don't have an Optima set up right now, so there's no version showing for that. So I'm going to say update, and it says yes and caution. I'm going to say okay, and now it's going to update, so we wait. So we are now reset. Let's just quickly check. We'll go to menu 3, hit extension settings, and do software version. And we are on 9 on the display, 12 on main, 07 on the DSP, and 06 on the SDR, which is what we've loaded. So we are good to go. And again, if you have an Optima and you have that plugged in and connected, then you will see the Optima you'll see the Optima firmware version also in there. And I know that I don't need to update mine because the version in this latest release is the same as what I already had in there. So it looks like I am updated and good to go. Okay, the radio is all freshly updated and freshly reset. Now I need to go reprogram all the memories. And I may or may not have already said this to you, depending on whether I have edited that part out of the earlier segment. I did do a video for reprogramming the memories with RT System software, and you can check that video out here or in the description. And there's some very important things you need to do if you update the firmware on the radio before you reprogram it with RT Systems. I think that probably applies if you're using any other software out there to reprogram it, where you have to download some information from the radio into the computer first before you can program the memories again after you've updated any firmware in the radio. So check out that other video if you want to see how to do that. And that's all I've got for this time. So as always, thanks for watching. I'm Tom, WA2IVD, and this is Ham Radio A to Z.